Hello everyone, long time no see, and this is Amanda here. Uh, I come from Tianjin Tuofa Electrical Technology Corporation Limited, and you can also call us at the TTF Power Systems, and I just right here. And so it's almost for 2 weeks I didn't see you guys, and I hope if you do usually follow our channel and you do watch our live shows, I think you might be miss me. It's just my thought. So after 2 weeks, finally we come back. We come back to do our live streaming channel, and I'm so glad that we have just 400 followers in YouTube, and we will gonna more interesting like videos about our product informations in the future. And so our today's topic we're going to talk about is energy security from my blackboard, and I also want to see we have just a speech for new room to do this YouTube live streaming channel, and I that was because we want to have a good visual effect to our followers, and I hope our fans or followers will like this. So let's get started, and I will talk about the energy security in the following 4 steps. So let me give a brief introduction. So energy security is a huge concern for both individuals and nations around the world. Dealing with the volatile and unpredictable world oil market has always been a challenge for governments and businesses, but it has become even more important in the age of climate change. So production of poline hardware is also an important part of energy security. I think my like the camera something weird. I think it's okay. I just want to ensure that I will not cover all the letters in the behind. So I'm just kind of speech from the middle part, but it's okay. So let's get started. And the first main character I want to talk about the main topic is composition of energy. So energy includes primary energy and secondary energy. So primary energy is all kinds of energy and resources taken from nature directly without processing and conversion. For example, raw coal, crude, natural gas, oil shale, nuclear energy, solar, water energy, wind, wave, tidal, geothermal, biomass, and ocean thermal energy, etc. There are all kinds of energy. So renewable energy are include solar, wind, biomass, wave, tidal, and ocean thermal energy. Non-renewable energy are coal, crude, natural gas, oil shale, and unclear. Secondary energy is an energy product get from primary energy from processing and conversion. There are electricity, steam, gas, gasoline, diesel, fuel, LPG, and alcohol, etc. And so after our first topic, let's move on to the second topic. That is, what is energy security? Energy security is a price that a country pays for sufficient energy supply to meet the needs of economic and social developments. In English, two dynamic factors. The first one is the price a country can afford. To get the energy supply, the country needs to afford a strength. It not only includes the financial outcome, but also includes political compromise and military aid. If a country can afford all these challenges, it can be regarded as safe. The second is development required. The amount of energy needed to a country can increase or decrease. If a country meets the energy need, it can be regarded as safe. Energy security is the ability of a country to obtain energy in a sustainable, stable, timely, sufficient, and economical manner. There are two parts in this concept of energy security. So the first part is stability of the energy supply, and the second is the safety of the energy use. Also, we call it as eco environmental safety. So for stability of energy supply, we also have some like different categories below this topic. So the supply of all kinds of energy needs for the national economy development and people's lives can be guarded under any circumstances. Improvised effectively defend against the various emergencies that affect sufficient supply of energy, such as wars and natural disasters, and can meet the needs of national economic development within a certain period of time. Sustainable use. Ensure the sustainable use of the quantity and the quality of energy supply in long-term goal. Energy security not only ensure the needs of current economic development, but also need to meet the requirements of future economic and social development. Safety of energy use, that is the second category that I just said, eco environmental safety. So the consumption and use of energy should not pose any threat to the living environment. That is to say, it should be in a full harmony with the environment. It's definitely is important to protect our environment, especially when we face those severe climate change in recent years. And then move on to our third main topic of today, that is factors affect the energy security. And so let's talk about it one by one. The first one is energy factor. Energy factor is one of the most direct and important factors affecting energy security. In general, a rich energy of the nation is benefit for the development of economic. In return, the security factor of energy supply will be high. If do not consider any other factors, the less likely the domestic energy is affected by external insecurity factors, the safer it is. But it does not mean that a country's energy resources are inefficient. The more serious the country energy security has more serious problems. And that move on to the third factor, that is the political factors. The impacts of political factors on energy security has two main aspects. So firstly, the deterioration of political relations between energy importing countries and exporting countries affects the energy security of energy importing countries directly. For example, the reason of the first oil crisis was the political tension between Arab countries and Western capitalist countries. Secondly, the domestic political factors of energy. Producing countries affect their energy supply capacity, thereby affecting the security of the energy importing countries indirectly. For example, the reason of the second energy crisis is domestic political and religious factors in Iran. So after talking about the energy factor, the political factors, let's move on to the transportation factor. So the security of the energy supply chain is as important as controlling resources and building reservoirs. Supply chain security is a premise and guarantee of energy security. Supply chain security also includes two aspects. One is the international energy transportation line. Countries with strong control over transportation lines have relatively small risks to energy supply security. The second is the domestic transportation capacity. The smaller the flow of the domestic energy, the more secure the energy supply. For a country's energy security, the first factor has a greater impact. In order to cope with blocking of short-term local transportation channels, the country has adopted multiple approaches to reduce its impact. And for the fifth factor, that is economic factor. So the impact of the economic factors on energy security is an indirect factor. For energy importing countries, the most important impact is whether the economy can support the foreign exchange needed to import energy. Economic factors also involve changes in prices. For importing countries, it is mainly the impact of price increase on import capacity and the balance of imports and exports. In peacetime, while price volatility is one of the most important problems of energy security. And next one is the military factor. So the military factor plays multiple roles on energy security in terms of transportation. With strong and quick response maritime military force, the energy maritime transport line will be well protected. This is especially reflected on controlling key of the energy transport lines such as the Strait of Malacca and Suez Canal. The impact of the military factors on energy security is also reinforced in the ability of military intervention in major energy production areas. In the Gulf War, Western powers such as the United States used their powerful military power to avoid the control of oil supply by Iraq. This effectively guarantees the energy security of the United States and its allies. And for our last factors, we define is the sustainable development and other factors. So energy security attaches great importance to the development efficiency of resources and emphasizes the sustainable use of resources. The essence of sustainable utilization of energy is to strive to achieve the coordination between economic development and energy utilization. And finally, achieve the overall coordination between economic development and population, resource, and environment. Sustainability factors should also consider the impact of technological progress and energy substitution. So let's move on to our last topic, that is energy security and pole line hardware. So energy strategy is a huge project, so closely related to various soft and hard powers such as economic power, scientific and technological power, and military power. On the other hand, energy security closely related to our daily life. There are line workers who works on the electric pole or utility pole or the telephone pole everywhere. Before they do the maintenance for the pole line hardware, they have to they keep the security principle or mind in their head. So let's have a quick review of what we just talked about today. And we talk about the composition of energy. We talk about what is exactly the definition of the energy security. And we talk about different factors that affect energy security. That includes energy factor, political factor, transportation factor, economic factor, military factor, sustainable development, and other factors. And at the last part, like all our ending part, we talk about the energy security, what it does have any relationship to our Poland hardware. So that's all of our today's content, and I want you to remember that we are an excellent power line hardware manufacturer in China, and we have our own workshop to produce all this kind of high quality Poland hardware, electrical line fittings, line hardware. So if you do need, please leave a comment. You can also have like a very direct connection with us, and we'll always be here to serve you, and we are here want to meet your power and utility needs. And in our following days, we are also feel very honored to share more information or share more live streaming shows or for to have more motivation to upload more videos in the future. And I hope you can stay tuned for our YouTube channel. So see you next time and bye bye. Have a nice day. Goodbye, everybody.